Hello everyone, I want to thank you all for checking out my very first video. This is my very first computer build. So we'll get into the specs here in just a minute. I just want to apologize first off before we get started for my audio and my lighting. I'm using my cell phone to record this, and it's probably not the best, but it'll do for my first video. So this is my computer. I call it the Black Knight. The specs will be listed down below, and a PC part picker list will also be included. This is the Asus X99 series. As you can see, it's actually the X99 Deluxe board. The case is a Fractal Design R5 with a window. I've taken the side panel off. We have a GPU here. This is a MSI 970, I believe, with a Kraken G10 and a H75 liquid cooler. I am running Intel's Intel i7 5870K, I believe. 5820K, that's what it is. If I got that wrong, I'll just make the adjustment. I'm running Corsair Dominator Platinum Series. This is DDR4 on the X99. It is overclockable to 3000 megahertz. If I got that wrong, I'll also make that adjustment. Up here, I am running Corsair H100 H100i CPU cooler. Over here, as you can see, my cable management's not the greatest. I'm running Asus's extra fan controller in there. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can. Which hopefully, I'm going to be doing an update video to this here pretty quick. That will show you guys, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Down here, I'm running NZXT Hale H50 850 watt power supply. I am running two Kingston SSDs, a 120 gig SSD and a 250 gig SSD for my boot and games. Down here, I'm running a hybrid drive. I don't know if you can see that or not. Kingston, let's see. I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't want to pull it out. Anyway, it's a Kingston, Seagate, 1000 gigabyte solid state hard drive. One of the new hybrid drives. It was actually a decent price. And over here is my H75 with the twin fans coming in, pulling air in through and blowing it through to the motherboard. Here is the front of the case. I apologize for the noise. My dog's moving around quite a bit. So, take off the front. You can see I moved the fan, the Fractal Design fan here. It was right here. I moved it down so I could put the liquid cooling in. And it works really, really well. So, although that fan looks like it's facing the wrong way, it's actually going the right way. And this is the front. That's the only badging on it right there. So I have removable dry bays, a fan controller switch that I'm not using right now. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. And here we can see inside the fan controller, and it's dusty. I have a pet who creates a lot of dust, unfortunately. So I'm hoping to eliminate this so I can remove the drive cage itself and free up space and get some airflow through here. So pop this back on here. We'll move around to, we'll turn her on, see what she looks like. Alright, close this up. I will say the front of this picks up quite a bit of dust, or fingerprints, sorry. Picks up quite a bit of fingerprints, as well as the, included side panel. which I've taken off because it glared quite a bit and I didn't want to show that in the video. Overall, I love this case. It's got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of room for just about anything you can need. So let's go ahead and turn it on. See, it's white. Got an LED strip here that's kind of tucked in. You can see it up there. Got another one down here at the bottom. It's tucked in as well. I think it makes the case look really, really good, especially in the dark. It really, really does a good job of showing off the colors. So, I'm really, really, really happy with this build. I couldn't have asked for anything more. I have run into a few issues with a couple of the parts. For instance, this fan right here, for some reason, after doing the included, I believe it was the fan configuration or the, I don't quite remember what the name of it is. I just know it was a fan configurer that's included with the software. For some reason, and I checked the settings a few different times to make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong, it actually doesn't show up in the BIOS. It still spins, as you can see. It's spinning. It's working. I believe it's a 3-pin. It's connected right there. 3-pin fan. I have another one. The one here in the front shows up, but for some reason this one does not. So I've ordered a replacement fan to see identical fan, same exact. I've also troubleshooting wise, I changed the pins there. As you can see, the fan headers on the motherboard. One of them is to the liquid cooler there for the graphics card. I swapped out the pins or the fan connectors, and it still doesn't show up. So I'm hoping that a replacement fan will fix that issue. And if not, it still spins. So I just would like to have control over my fans. There was another issue with the fans, which we'll talk about in a second. We'll talk about the graphics card here for a second. This was an absolute experience. Putting on the NZXT Kraken G10. Like I said earlier in the specs list, this is the Corsair H75 liquid cooler. And there's the rest of it. It runs through. I hate my cable management, by the way. Absolutely hate it. So, way back there in the back. Let's see. Yep. Way back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Get my finger right above my fingertip there. There is a 4-pin mini fan header. If it'll focus, it's having trouble focusing. There it kind of goes. Anyway, that when you take off the reference cooler or the reference shroud case, whatever you want to call it, it actually it's 4-pin. It's small, so you have to buy an adapter if you're going to run a setup like this, so that the fan in this. On the Kraken G10, they've included then a fan here, a replacement fan, obviously for the shroud that you can put on there. So the GPU, there's a better shot of it. The GPU actually isn't controlling its fan, and when you go into Corsair Link, which I use for that the CPU cooler right there. It's connected. You can see the wire that runs down to the USB header down here. I believe that one's it right there. It shows that there's no fan connected, which is true. There's no fan connected. So if you're going to do something like this, you need to order an adapter to connect to your card here to have the fan show up. I actually have an update coming soon for this that I'm going to show. I'm actually going to replace the fan here that's on the NZXT Kraken G10, or the fan that came with it, which involves me actually removing the whole card, taking the CPU pump off, or the GPU pump, whatever you want to call it, the pump off. Because if you see the screws right there, and on the other side, they are actually, it's accessible from the top, so there's no way to change it without taking the whole thing apart. I've ordered a Noctua, one of the new Noctuas. It's a silver fan, and I just recently heard about it today, which today's Monday. I don't have the date. I'll post it in there. For their 2015 series, they've gotten new colors, black and silver, which should contrast well. Unfortunately, it's not black or white. It is silver, and it's this fan is 92mm fan, so it should work out well. I had a couple of issues with this the other day, and we'll talk about more when I get to the computer, to the front side, to show you guys. My GPU, for some reason, got up to, well, not for some reason, I know the cause, got up to 94 degrees Celsius and actually shut itself down, because the fan, as you can see here and here, and of course the GPU is plugged into a 4-pin fan header on the motherboard. They actually stopped when I switched my fan profiles in Asus AI Suite 3. So there is a three pin, and I'll show you, or a 3-mode switch right here for fans that I'm going to switch to and leave it run all the time. And if I need to increase it or decrease it while I'm playing video games, I can. I'll be able to see the temperature of the GPU, so I'll be able to adjust it as necessary. But that was a problem, and we'll talk more about that here in a few minutes. I did the light bar upgrade for Corsair's Dominator Platinum RAM, and I have to say it was a pretty painful process. I don't know if you can see in there, but I actually missed a screw. And I missed screws entirely on one of them. I think it's this one right here, because when you put the new metal bar that has the holes in it on, there's a lens part that goes in over the LED tube that's inside, and that's the best way I can describe it if you haven't seen one before, that lifts up the plastic part, so it's the holes don't line up, which is kind of disappointing, but nothing's fallen off yet, so that makes me happy. So I think that about wraps it up for this side, other than one other pet peeve I have that came with the NZXT Hale 90 right there. You can see I butchered the name in the beginning. Are these ribbon cables. There you can see. I'm not going to show the back in this video when I do my update video with the new fan. I've got a couple of other cables and a new fan here. I'm going to do a update video that shows the process of that. I absolutely hate these flat cables. They are the absolute worst for cable management. They don't flex that well, as you can see down here. It's absolutely a mess, and I don't know why NZXT included that cable right there, because it absolutely sets off everything. I mean, it's like, if you look at it, it's colored. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to be replacing that with a NZXT has premium cables, so I'm gonna actually have to buy each cable here connected, all the cables I'm using individually, which is kind of a pain in the ass, and it could get expensive. I wish there was companies out there that made replacement cables, but if you've ever owned a case or power supply, you'll know that each power supply comes with different cables, and this happens to be one of those. There's a company called Cable Mods that actually makes different cables for different power supplies. I think Corsair is a big one. There's a couple of other names on there that I don't remember. So that's kind of another pet peeve that I had in building this system that I didn't know in the beginning. Well, when I ordered it, doing my research, I found that the cables weren't going to fit, and I'm really glad I didn't get them in the beginning, because it was a $200 cable kit, so it was just nice not to get them then and wait and get them separately. Like I said, cable management's a big hassle, big pain because of these cables. If you've ever had issues with these, or you know of a way to make them nicer looking or work with them a little easier, please leave it in the comments below. It would greatly be appreciated. So I think that's about it. We're going to jump over to the other side, and I'm going to show you guys the other problem that I had with the fan controller. Maybe you guys have some opinions on that. Here's one last look. One of the upgrades I do want to do is add in another 970 here. And I don't know what I'm going to do about this. This is an issue because it would obviously go right here. So if you guys have any recommendations on that, it would be greatly appreciated. But once I get all my fan headers set up properly, I think I'll be relieving one or two of the fan headers that I'll be able to get rid of the controller up here. So I'll be able to remove that. I don't think I'll be able to move it up or move anything up, but I'll make it work. So I'm gonna switch over to the other side and let you guys see this one last time. All right. Hello everyone, back again here, and we're looking at my desktop. I decided, instead of recording footage from my cell phone again, it would be easier to record my desktop to actually show you the software. So here we have Corsair's link, and we have, like I was saying before, the temperatures, and that's an i7-5820K, just in case I got it wrong earlier. And this actually controls the H100i pump and a couple of various other options on the case, as you can see right here, as I was telling you before. And I'm going to put up a picture right now of the adapter that you need for, and it says here, ATI NVIDIA reference display card with 4-pin PWM fan header, excuse me. Because as you can see, it's saying that the graphics card, the GeForce GTX 970, doesn't have a fan plugged in. So when you purchase that adapter and you plug it in, it will actually show up here, and the graphics card will actually control the fan itself. So like I said before, when I get the new fan in, the two new fans in, and the other cables that I need to make this switch happen, I will do an update video and we will take a look again. So obviously the temperatures aren't 100% true. They're not 100% accurate. They are just an approximate temperature. Here's one for the motherboard. There's a couple of sensors placed around the motherboard, and you can drag these on, lay them out however you want to. This is actually the percentage of the CPU that I'm using. If that's accurate, I don't know if that's 100% accurate or not. Probably not. And this is the software that I was talking about, Fan Expert 3 with the 5-way optimization, or AI Suite 3, as Asus calls it. So this is the problem that I was having. Um, you click on this, and it comes up, and you have different profiles. While I was in game, there's a little bar here. I'm going to click on it. I actually clicked on this while I was in game, and I had this over on my right monitor. I have 3 monitors. I have a 27-inch main and 2 24-inch monitors, which makes great for recording and monitoring system temperatures. I switched my fan profile, and I went from standard. I think I went back to standard. I don't remember what I was on, but my temperatures got a little high, and I swapped my temperatures. So I'm in the middle of my game, playing my game, and I'm looking at Corsair Link, and my graphics get all wavy. And I knew exactly what it was because it had happened earlier. My graphics card temperature got so high, like I said, it was up to 94 degrees Celsius, it shut itself down. I pressed the power button on the case, didn't work, so I had to pull the siding off the case and reset from the motherboard. And it's happened before. There's a shutdown feature in those. Obviously, it's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to get it that high. But I did. I feel stupid being an IT student. I should know better. However, it's not 100% my fault. The software, for some reason, and I know it's controlling the fans through the BIOS, but it shouldn't happen like that. So let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. I'm using a Yeti now versus my cell phone, so you may be able to hear the fans ramp up. Hopefully you do. And of course my dog panting because it's kind of warm. So I'm going to go ahead and go to full speed. And you can see, you saw this one change. It went from down here, and they're ramping up. You can hear them now. And then you'll see the temperature start to fall. So this is what I was doing. I think I had a profile loaded in here. One of these, and I've been going through and testing different profiles, and trying to get this set up properly. And I haven't had success yet. So, and the biggest thing is I want to keep my GPU temp down. I know, no matter what, the CPU will be fine. It will be controlled fine, and I haven't had an issue with it. Actually, I think I did once, and I hit silent, and you'll hear the fans ramp way down, and as you see, they change there. Actually, they haven't, and you'll see when you change the profile, the fans say they're not there anymore for whatever reason, and I don't know if you heard that. And actually, you can see right now the temperatures are going up. So, and the fans haven't even been off for a few seconds, and this is the issue that I was having. So that's what happened. You just saw it go right there, real time, didn't do anything, swapped it to silent, now I'm back to standard, and I hit standard, and I'm pretty sure I hit standard. So it's really been all over the place. And I'm 100% sure it wasn't my fault. It was the fan swapping. It could have been, but I don't think it was, because excuse me, there's been a couple of other experiences that I've had where it hasn't worked. Or another one, for example, is when I load a profile, or when I save a profile, it doesn't save correctly. So let's go round the wheel, and there's the chassis fan too that I was talking about that's not being recognized. It spins, but it actually doesn't show up anywhere for some reason when the other one on the front does. This is actually the GPU fan, as you can see, because it's plugged in to a fan header on the motherboard. And this is the fan in the front that works fine. It reads just fine. I read a couple of forums that said that it was the it was because I had it. These are 3-pin fans. It was because I had it in PWM, which is the setting for 4-pin fan headers, and it's set correctly in the BIOS as a DC, which is what it should be for 3. So I'm not really sure. I'm hoping the new fan will fix the issue so I can actually control it a little better. So here's the GPU cooling that I have set. For some reason, it's on the VRM, but that's okay. There's my sensor, my external sensor. So let's come back here. So let's see. When I load a profile, it'll go 100%. Oh, and here's the fan tuning that I was talking about, or I was trying to remember the fan tuning. So as you can see, if you can hear it, you probably can. It is at 100%. You may not be able to hear it, but so when I swap it back over, it goes back to standard, and you can see the lines drop. Oh, I was going to show you the loading profile. So let's try Black Knight. Okay, so when I load Black Knight, you can see that I have it set for 1200 RPM, and you can clearly see the line is over 1200 RPM. It's running at full speed when I have it set at 1200 for whatever reason. So when I come here and I adjust it, you'll see it come down and it will run at 1200 RPM. So I don't really know what that's about, and you see it go back up. That's another issue that I've experienced with this software suite for controlling the fans. So not real sure. I've tried looking in a couple places and haven't really found a solution to my issue, and I think I've pretty much made my own solution. I'm going to switch to the 3-position switch on the Fractal Design case. I think it would just be easier and simpler to control it that way, unfortunately. But I really don't want to, and I'm not being saying I have tons of money. I don't. $350 is what I paid for the graphics card, and you know, if something happens to the graphics card, I want it to be my fault and not the software's fault, because if I do something wrong to it, you know, that's one thing. But if I'm relying on the software, which I know I shouldn't, you know, and if anything happens to it, if it is damaged or whatever the case may be, ultimately I want it to be my fault, and I'll eat the cost of the $350. But if it's due to something else, like this fan profile not excuse me, for the fan profile not being set correctly, and it's damaged because of that, you know, I voided the warranty when I took the shroud off. You know, I want my temperatures to be cooler, because I live in an apartment building and I'm on the 2nd floor. There's nobody above me. Heat rises, and it gets pretty warm up here, so I want to make sure that the temperatures are low, and I keep everything in a nice, comfortable temperature. It's a silent case. It really is. They did real good with the between Fractal and Asus. You know, they're all about silence, as you can see here. Let's see, if I go back, I'll show you an example for the CPU fans here. If I can get back to it, there, right there, CPU fan. So as you can see here, I have the extreme quiet on, which was done automatically through the fan tuning. Extreme quiet 341 to 573 RPM, which it's right in there, and you can see the temperature a little warmer than I'd like it to be, especially at idle. But that's another problem that I've been having, is it's going up and down, and it may just be because it's warm in here, which I'm guessing. And I apologize for the grinding noise. My neighbors are finishing remodeling on their house, and even though I have the window closed, it's still loud. So as you can see, I click turbo, and the settings don't seem to be changing, and my CPU temp is up there. So that, like I said, that's just some issues that I've been having, and that's an idle. I might add. So just some issues like that. It's not really controlling the fans as it should. So I'm happy about that. I am. If you guys have any ideas or any workarounds, if you've had any other similar problems, this is actually my first time with Asus's platform before. I am new. This is actually my very first computer. So I've had previous computers in the past. My latest, other besides this one, is the Alienware X51 that I bought 3 years ago. I built this computer, let's see here. I've only had this computer a week, Saturday, up and running. I bought everything Monday the 6th, April the 6th, which was a Monday, and I had everything in by Friday the 10th, except for a few parts here and there. So I've had this case going on, or this computer, I should say, about 2 weeks. And these are just some of the issues that I've experienced. And hopefully I'll find some resolutions to them. There's a couple of other things I wanted to talk about, this being my first case. I keep saying case, my first computer. One of the things being the case. I actually built my entire computer around the motherboard, Asus X99 series, X99 Deluxe. It's got the white trim around it. I know it's kind of silly, but it was an aesthetic that I liked and wanted to incorporate around. So I chose the white Fractal Design R5 case, and one place showed that it was in stock, and that was Tiger Direct Business. Unfortunately, that was not true. That was not the case. Play on words there, case. Anyway, that was not true. They did not have the case in stock. So I went round and round. I actually bought the case, or ordered the case, April 2nd, which was a Thursday, and found that they didn't have it in stock. I actually had my money given back to me even before then, saying that it would ship, or it would take the money out of my account when it shipped. So I decided on the black case, and I think it just looks amazing. So if you're out there and you're trying to find the white Fractal Design R5 case with a window, or I think even the regular version without the window, good luck to you. It was a serious chore just to find it where it said it was in stock, and even then, I actually called a couple distributors directly, and they unfortunately didn't have any either. So I don't know what the problem is there. So, yeah. So good luck to you on finding that case. Like I said before, I have some parts coming. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. Everything's kind of coming to me here at the end. I ordered some parts from Newegg, and they've been using, or they are using, a company called OnTrack to ship to the Pacific Northwest. I live in Washington State, Pacific Northwest. There's a company out of California called OnTrack. They're like FedEx and UPS. I ordered parts, a fan, the replacement fan, 2 fan extension cables, a 4-pin, or excuse me, a Y cable, a fan splitter cable, and thermal paste, because when I take the fan off, or when I go to replace that fan, I need to take the GPU cooler off, or the H75 the pump part off. I need to reapply the thermal paste, and need to put that back together. As you can see, my temps are rising, and I'm at idle, and I'm gonna have to restart it to get me back to where I was. Anyway, temperatures are fine. Anyway, So I ordered all those parts Saturday the 11th, and I was expecting Newegg to send them out on the 13th. Unfortunately, I didn't see anything on Wednesday when I was promised delivery, which was April 15th. So I called them, and they said, you missed the cutoff deadline for shipping on Monday, which I was bummed about, but I thought about it, and it was Saturday when I ordered all of my parts, and I clicked rush delivery. I paid the extra $2.99 because I wanted to get them in quick. And fortunately, I didn't get them on Friday. They or on Wednesday. They said go till Friday, or excuse me, Thursday. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. And if nothing has been delivered by Thursday, to give them a call and get the money back. So I called them on Thursday because there was no box. I knew that was going to happen. So they refunded me the $15.95 for the shipping, which I was grateful for. And so I said, okay, and I saw the package was finally moving through OnTrack. And 17th came around, Friday, when they said delivery was going to be here. I checked my delivery notifications at school while I was in class, and it said that it had been delivered in the screen door. So I'm like, okay, cool. So when I get home, my stuff's going to be there. I'm going to be happy. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I came home, opened up the screen door, nothing. So I gave OnTrack a call, and they said that ultimately they said the driver had gone home for the day, and there was nothing they could do for me until Monday. I called Newegg. I put in a claim, and this was all done on Friday. Put in a claim, said that they lost my package. There was nothing there. And Sunday night, actually last night, about 12:14 is when I got the email. There was a resolution made on the claim, and they are actually sending me out my parts 3-day for free. And I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody got my package, sent it back. I don't know, but I've read a lot of negative reviews about OnTrack. When I used Newegg to get a few of my components, I think my motherboard, the CPU, and a couple of other things, my SSDs and my hard drive came from Newegg, and they were shipped via OnTrack. And I was here when I got the delivery. Although they didn't ring the doorbell, I still got the delivery, and I was happy about that. So that was kind of a negative experience with OnTrack. Too early to tell. I mean, a lot of people have complained about it, and I've used them one other time before I lived at this apartment. I had a book, I believe, sent to my mother's house, and it was delivered fine there. It was in the evening, about 7 or 8, maybe a little earlier than that. Probably, I don't know, somewhere in around there. It was a while back, and when I went to go pick it up, it was there. No hang-ups or anything, so that was good. Just wanted you guys to know about that. Newegg made a resolution, and they did really well. The customer service was great. Although I was upset, and I'm surprised. I wasn't upset as I thought I was going to be, but they fixed the issue. They refunded me my $15 for the shipping Thursday, and now they're sending me out new parts. Wherever that box is, hopefully the new owner of those computer components are happy with them. I don't know what they're going to do with it. They may thermal paste the fan to their forehead and plug in the cables to their ears. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I hope they're having fun with that. And thank you all very much for watching my very first video on my channel. You can look forward to much more coming. I have a review of a toolkit. I'm not going to say who it's from. It unfortunately didn't help me in this build. I did order the toolkit Friday when I was building, and it got delivered Saturday morning, and I used it then to screw in some parts. I've got some gameplay footage coming up. Hopefully I'm going to be uploading Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So be on the lookout for that. Schedule's not set in stone yet. We're going to be playing a whole bunch of different things. Grand Theft Auto 5, maybe even some Battlefield 4. City Skylines is one of the games that I've really enjoyed playing. We're going to start fresh with that. New computer, new games, make it fun for everybody. So I hope you all stick around and watch what I'm going to do. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.